Good morning, Andrea.
Hi,
I'm so glad that you're here.
Thank you.
Andrea Matros, and for our audience, and I'd like to begin with how we met and became such close sister friends. We met at our spiritual center, and which eventually led to both of us signing on to become practitioners, which was about a 4-year process for the pre-classes and the actual certification. And that brought us even closer together. And through that, you're really learning about the depths of what you've experienced, and in that sharing, you shared your story, which was quite remarkable, in that you escaped with your daughter. And I don't want to reveal too much of your story. I'd rather have you tell the audience and share that.
As you know, I started my yoga journey when I was 21.
Okay.
And I lived on an ashram.
Wow.
For a year to 2 years.
How beautiful.
And
was that the start of really going deep?
Absolutely. Well, it was the start of seeing that I was yearning for a deeper connection to myself and to life. It came along like, lavender was sprinkled on the carpet. Here, follow your path.
Beautiful.
And so I followed my path, and relationships happened. But the circumstance and condition of what you're asking me of specifically was at a time in my life where I was married for a short amount of time. My spiritual journey was fully happening.
What were you doing at that time?
I opened up a spiritual center, a metaphysical center. There was meditation involved. There were certain kind of spiritual practices that I was sharing with people, and light workers,
Sure.
This kind of thing. So I was in a home environment that I didn't realize to the degree of how dysfunctional it really was. I thought it was okay on the surface, even though it wasn't really okay.
And that was your daughter and your husband at that time?
Yes.
So the three of you?
The three of us were living in a home. My husband at the time had separate bedrooms than I did, although we came together.
And I have to, if you don't mind,
Yeah.
I'm asking a personal question, but why separate bedrooms when you were married?
Well, we had a main bedroom, but he would go off on his own a lot, like he wanted his own space.
Okay, and so you were just honoring that.
Yeah. I thought,
I understand.
Okay, you want your own space? All right, that's okay. And so somebody just dropped a hint, and she said, I think something is not right here. Now, she was a student of mine, and very kind and generous. I haven't been in touch with her since, but she just gave me a heads up.
And this was because you were doing your practice at your home.
Yes.
So she was referring to the home.
Yes. She saw something in my environment that I could not see. And I went for an overnight stay with some friends of mine. They invited me to something that happened to be happening very close. We were together with these close friends, a mother and daughter. The daughter was a little bit psychic, had just sensitivity. 2 of her daughters, very close to me at that time. And we were doing some journey work together, and I was struggling. I had something that wanted to be revealed, and I didn't know, and I was by myself in my own room. I tend to be a private person in that way.
Mm-hmm.
She came to me and she said, Andrea, what's going on? And I said, I don't know. And she just was talking and dialoguing with me, what's going on? And I said, I was molested. I think I was molested. And of course she was trying to say by whom and this, and help me open up. And she just sat there with me and held my hands, and we discussed this until she finally said the big thing, which is, what's happening now? And I said, I don't know. And is there something happening with your daughter? And I don't know. And we parted, and I went home the very next day, because by then it was late in the evening. My daughter is 9. And I said, Leah, is there something going on between you and Hector? And she said yes. And I've mentioned that before, the pinnacle moment of facing my daughter and asking her, and her answer in a moment, we are sleeping together. I'm like, what? What? I knew something was wrong before then. Months before then, I started to say to him very gingerly, in a very protective way, we need to stop. We need to get a divorce. I know we need to get a divorce. There was something that was saying, I think it was even before the woman.
Yes.
There was something wrong. There was something wrong here. I was getting this very clearly. There's a dysfunctional element of this. We must get a divorce.
Yes.
And the energy between he and I started to get very scary.
Okay.
So I had laid the foundation that I was moving out. And I didn't tell him that I was moving out. I was getting afraid of him at this point because his behavior was unnatural. We packed whatever we could. I was very frightened. I didn't know where to go. I just knew I had to get out. So we were literally at a bus stop with the clothes that we can carry, my daughter and our little hamster at the time in a little cage. That's what we had to do. We had to leave right then and there. There was no choice. There was no way. There was no other thing to do. Once I found out, within 24 hours,
we were
gone. We went to a place that I had never been before. I had a map, and when I got there, there was somebody there to take us in, to have a place.
Beautiful.
She and I were in therapy for years. Because of her age, she was in art therapy, which revealed powerful things that she had experienced. I don't understand the makings of the mind or the brain, but I have great empathy for something that you don't always know that is happening, and you're getting signs. But how can you fathom? And it did bring up issues for my family, who, because they found out, here I am leaving my second husband, I told them. And then, after that, it was revealed that my sister in our home had been molested. I had been molested. I had no idea. I knew I had memory gaps. I knew I didn't remember things, but I had no idea that happened to me.
What an avalanche. Here you're trying to heal yourself and your daughter, escaping, and now you're hearing about you and your sister.
Well, my sister remembered and had never told anybody. And it was only for her love for me that she mentioned it. I don't know if anyone in my family would have been able to hear it had it not been for her disclosing her piece. So for my daughter and I, we moved away.
Mm-hmm. You started to
heal through the environment where I was beautiful. It was natural. It had nature all around, mountains, a lake. It was hard, and yet we did the best we can. I had to go on welfare at the time. Yes. I didn't have anything. Yes. I was given a vehicle by my brother. I think at these critical times when we are feeling that we don't know what to do, sometimes it's literally down on your knees and praying.
Yes.
Sometimes it's calling it with all your might to, ask for help, ask for guidance. I think that is a tool that we naturally call forth, that higher power, that spirit within us to guide and direct us. We moved on, but Liz, it didn't end. She did have some troubles when she, 5 years later.
Sure. Then how old would she be then? A teenager?
Yeah, she was 14. and she had to find herself. And boy, talk about her own inner courage. Leah ran away. She was gone. That felt like the hardest time in my life.
Oh.
Leah had she had to have some help through this in many ways. We went through a psychologist at the time after art therapy. She struggled quite a bit with what was happening and what came through, and we helped her not to help not internalize it, to bring it forth. And the way she finally expressed it as she got older was to do this, to run away at that time. I did get her back. I was in full custody of my daughter the whole time.
And then she came back reluctantly, or?
Oh no, very angrily. I mean, 15 years old. Very angry, very, very angry. But I think underneath that was being saved, was being helped. Sometimes it's not the immediate family that can help us, but it's those around us. And it's that spiritual practice, praying and doing my yoga and asking for help and meditation, and still knowing some part inside of me always knew that I was being guided and I was blessed. And it's not to make that sound airy-fairy, but I had signs that said, I'm not alone. I feel that I have been blessed and guided in my life spiritually,
yes,
as well as in the conditions that have occurred. My daughter is close to me. Oh, I love her. She loves me.
Oh.
We see courage and strength with each other.
How beautiful.
I think she gave me courage by being as strong as she can be. I learned from her that I needed her to be a certain way and to be there for me. And she taught me to be strong myself too. Yes. Because I would see that once I now am older and have a significant relationship and a partner who I adore, and, that gave my daughter the freedom to let go, where sometimes our children feel like they're there for us, needing to take care of mom. And she really showed me that, Andrea, Leah needs to be on her own now. She is doing wonderful. She's been married for many, many years now, and I adore her, and we can talk to each other openly. And I absolutely do feel that it's given me the courage and the strength to be who I am, and to love life and to love people, and to, my spiritual path has continued to this very day. It is a part of me breathing in life and having the courage and the love to share it with others in a way that's true and real. And
beautiful.
And then today, it's a new path, and it's a new journey for a couple of years, where I am studying this place of life where we are so close and always a part of end of life, and how it's called compassionate end of life care, spiritual end of life midwife, if you will.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that the experience and the horror that you went through in your daughter leads you to here, but all of our life experiences lead us to where we are at this moment. Yeah. And you have expressed the epitome of what this whole series is about. The courage that not only you, but your daughter Leah had experienced and actually demonstrated is far beyond anything that I know about. And I trust that people will gather strength and courage from your words. And I really thank you for this. Namaste.
Namaste, Liz. Thank you so much. Namaste.